Hey guys, this brown box can only mean one thing. It's a new guitar day. Yep, so another guitar from Thomann. And by the way, let me just make absolutely clear, I'm buying these. I'm not getting these from Thomann or from anybody else free of charge for me to demo them. I'm paying for them myself. Well, actually, to be fair, you're paying for them by watching and subscribing to the videos, and the ad revenue pays for them, to be fair. So I'm not going to hang around, just going to get it unboxed. Love these staples, get so used to them. And here's the bubble boxes, or the bubble bags I should say. Love these things. Have a lot of fun with those. Once we're done, get rid of all that lot. And here we go. It is of course another Harley Benton. I'll have a look in the box later, see what that stuff is. So, let's open this little devil up. Oh, refurbished demo. Interesting. Be quiet, printer. Don't need all that noise going on. Okay. Moment of truth. What have we got? We have got, there's a clue, that type of tremolo. You know what it is anyway. Let's get it out. No more case candy. Let's just open her up. Ooh, loving this colour. And it is, of course, the Harley Benton CST24 in Emerald Flame. And I have never bought a green guitar. Shock horror. And it's got the coil tap ring thing on it, which we will pull straight off. Push-pull coil tap, which is lovely to know. And again, comes with all the Harley Benton checklist. It's got Diodario, nickel wound, XLs on it. Doesn't say what gauge. Not unless I'm very blind, but I'm not missing that. Don't drop the bass, or the guitar, or the mic, or the trumpet, or the Partacaster. In case of fire, rescue my guitars. Love it. So, it does come with the push-in type trem, and I believe this is a Wilkinson, but we will go through the specs on this guitar, and I'm suspecting there will be somewhere that we can tighten that. Not that I can see. This is on the back or at the bottom. That's very floppy. Hope that can be tightened up. But there's no Allen wrench space anywhere that I can see. So no idea how that gets tightened up. We'll have a look later. So it is the Harley Benton CST24 Emerald Flame. It's from their deluxe series. The body is mahogany and the top is flamed maple, or at least it's certainly a maple veneer. And the thing that the Chinese do a lot, and let's just check, made in Vietnam. So this one is made in Vietnam, so not a Chinese guitar. But what they do a lot with these cheaper range guitars is they will put a cap on, a maple cap, but then they'll put a veneer on for the flame top that you actually see. It's not a picture finish, it is actually a real wood veneer. And looking at this, you can tell that because you get a slight movement in it, in the reflected light. So when you move the guitar around, you can see some movement in the flame top. And actually this one is particularly pretty. It's a really, really nice flame top, and that moves around an awful lot. So, flamed maple top, set in neck with a mahogany C-shaped neck. I would concur with that. Nice strong scarf joint in it as well. The fretboard is Roscar, or Rosecar, not quite sure how you pronounce that, which is basically thermally treated maple wood, so it's baked maple. And it's not a bad look. It doesn't compare to rosewood, if I'm honest. I think rosewood is by far and away the prettiest that you will find on a dark fretboarded guitar. I find that ebony's just that little bit too dark, but yeah, rosewood. This is good enough. It looks quite good from a distance. The fretboard radius is 350 millimeters. It's got 24 medium frets, and it's got pearloid inlays, dot inlays. The scale length is 635 millimeters, which is the PRS 25-inch scale, which is good news because that's what this is pretending to be, or at least this is what this is a tribute to, because it's not pretending, because it's got its own logo, its own headstock shape, and nothing else on this infringes trademarks. So it's just a copy, a tribute guitar. It has a nut width of 42mm, exactly the same as the PRS. Pickups are two open Roswell HAF Alnico 5 humbuckers. So again, it's got the Roswells, but they're open. They haven't got a cover plate on them. They haven't got the chrome cover plate on these. And I quite like the cream coloured pickup surrounds, which look quite a bit different to the Chinese ones. The thing I find with the Chinese pickup surrounds is that this bit here is just a bit thicker. And on the Gibsons, for example, or on a set of Seymours, the pickup surrounds have got a much thinner side piece here. And this is very similar to that, so these look a little bit more authentic. Where am I? One volume control, one tone control with push-pull coil split, a three-way toggle switch, and the hardware is chrome, and this tremolo is a Wilkinson WVPC tremolo, which is a traditional tremolo with the 6 screw mounts along the front a la Fender rather than the 2-point floating trem. And the colour, yeah, emerald green, my first ever green guitar. I think it's going to take a bit of growing on me. I'm not a huge fan of green as a guitar colour, but it's one I didn't have, and I've always fancied that if I bought a real PRS USA custom or a private stock, I always quite like either their Mateo blue, which is awesome, or their green. And this is a nice coloured guitar. The binding looks nice. It's a cream binding, and the finish on this is really, the front certainly is really, really nice. That's a lovely flamed maple finish. There's a bit of jiggery pokery and dodginess going on that bottom horn rather, just as the finish goes round the corner. There's a slight imperfection there, and you can't actually see the cap on this, so it may be that it isn't a cap. It may be that it's a complete mahogany, or the Vietnamese version of mahogany, and then just a maple veneer on the top. It's a 2-part body, that's for sure. I can see a join running all the way down there. So 2 parts. There's a funny little trick of the light on there as well. There's like a grain running sideways. Not sure what that is. It's very much PRS heel, glue in heel. I'm suspecting that should be a 2-part heel. Yes, 1, 2, 2-part heel. It has the scarf joint. It has a very, very nice volute. It's got CST24 Deluxe on the back and ROHS CE marking, so it's certificated in Europe, made in Vietnam, and it's not recyclable. The tuners are like the SE tuners. They're a shallow style tuner, closed back, and we'll see what it tunes up like. Actually, did they send it in tune? It's not far off. It's been tested, obviously. The headstock, I quite like the Harley Benton logo on this, and I quite like the truss rod cover plate with the HB on it. That looks quite nice. The Roswell pickups, we'll see what they sound like in another video. This certainly has not got any sharp fret ends. The nut looks quite nicely cut. It's a little deep on the E string. The bottom E sits right inside the, and this is definitely a plastic nut. The difference with this nut and on the Harley Benton SC450 Plus that I got, and somebody asked me the other day, what does the LD stand for? That's just lemon drop, it's the colour LD. But this feels very plasticky, this nut, whereas that felt almost like tusk or a bone. But this is, I certainly don't think this is the same material. This is softer and it's definitely plastic. The strings are right inside the nut, so that's not particularly nicely cut. I think that the headstock shows a few signs of having been polished, and the Harley Benton looks like a little pearloid type inlay, which is really quite nice. I don't know if it shows up on the camera there if I turn it in the light, but it should do. I keep going back to this flame. The flame and the book matching looks lovely. There's a slight imperfection in it there, but it's got some character. Definitely got some character. That's me spitting on it, not a dent. I thought that might have been a little dent, but it isn't. It's my percussives. The Wilkinson trem is nicely set up, very nicely floating. Not sure that I like the angle on the volume and tone knob. There we go. I've got those level and the guitar slopes off down that way. And I think it would be nicer if they did the PRS style scoop out of the body and then got the volume and tone pots so that they were perpendicular with the body. But it's a minor point. And that volume pot is a little stiff to be doing the Van Halen violins, but it's doable. It's not so far away. It's a lot easier to do it on a PRS style guitar than it is to do it on a Les Paul style guitar. Switch seems to be quite nice and pretty positive. Feels like that's halfway decent quality. I'll be interested to open this up and see if it's got the small volume and tone potentiometers on it, like the SC450. The back and the wood on the back and on the neck is an interesting grain. It's got something peculiar going on here, but that's quite nice because it does change in the light. I hope the camera's picking that up. And that's me as well, with a few little marks on the back already, sweaty paws. The neck has got a very, very distinctive grain. It's very open, doesn't look like mahogany to me, and it's supposed to be mahogany if I'm not mistaken. Body mahogany. Actually doesn't say. Set in neck mahogany, yes, C-shaped mahogany neck. Yes, I did say that earlier. And it might be a Vietnamese mahogany. There is As always with these much cheaper guitars, there are going to be imperfections underneath the lacquer, and there's a couple in the neck, but I can live with that on the back of the neck. I don't spend an awful lot of time looking at the back of the neck when I'm playing it, but that front, that maple top, that maple veneer cap is absolutely stunning. I think you'll agree. So there it is. We'll plug it in and play it in the next video. So for now, this is the unboxing. I hope you like the guitar, folks. It's almost in tune, you know. Pretty much in tune. So this has obviously been tested and passing quality control and the like at Thomann and Harley Benton. The action is pretty standard, 1.5 mil, maybe 1 to 1.5 mil. It's quite low. It's about where I like it. That's a typical PRS style input jack. It's just a chrome plated input jack in that PRS style, and for once, obviously Vietnamese get this right. It's quite nicely screwed in. Often, if anything's going to be loose, it'll be these input jacks, and also the volume and tone pots have a nasty habit of falling off. Let's have a quick see if there's any noticeable fret buzz anywhere. No noticeable fret buzz, no real noticeable problems, and the action's fairly low. I spotted another little imperfection on the top horn there, but again, it's on the side of the body. Anything else on it? Oh, there's a light patch on the bottom of the guitar there, on the back, I should say. Another little imperfection underneath the finish there, and a little slight peculiarity in the wood on the side of the neck heel joint there as well. But I have to say, nothing in places where you can see it. The neck looks very straight and very true, and no noticeable bow or kink or twist that I can see. And that trem is really nicely set up. That's just sat nice and flat. And I'm guessing there's a bit of play. No, there's no play backwards. Certainly only forward play on that. So that's why that's so nicely sat there. It's quite a thick trem block in the back there that I can see through this plate, which will be coming off, no doubt. As will the electronics cavity cover, because I will show you inside this guitar as always. Strap locks are the typical V-shaped strap buttons. The strings are quite nice and straight through the headstock to the tuners, but again, that is a follow-on from Paul Reed Smith's very clever design, where the tuners sit nicely in line with the nut slots, so that you get very little binding issue on the strings. I'm really looking forward to playing this. I think in terms of value, it was a B-stock item, I'll tell you that for nothing, and it cost me 177 euros. So I think that's pretty good value. It's nicely balanced, neck's quite chunky, which suits some, and I don't mind a chunky neck. Main thing is that they have gone with that 25-inch scale length, which I think is Paul Reed Smith's greatest invention. I think it's just right. It sits right between the Strat scale length, or the Fender scale length, and the Gibson scale length. Fender's scale length being 25.5 inches and Gibson's being 24.75. 24 3/4, and this is right in the middle, and it kind of gives you that nice bendability that you find with the Gibson, but that nice tone from the slightly longer scale length, and it's not quite as loose as the Gibson. I do like the 25-inch scale length. That's why I made the Milton guitars that scale. It's got quite a nice natural sustain to it as well. It's not as naturally sustaining as the SC450, but it's as good as most guitars that I unbox, and certainly in comparison to the other Far Eastern guitars, the Chinese guitars, this is pretty nice. I'm trying to find where this becomes B stock, and I thought I felt slight imperfection in the finish there, but it's not. It's just another bit of gunk stuck to the edge of the guitar. I suppose it could be these marks in it that they're suggesting it's B stock, but I can't see anything obviously wrong with this guitar. It may be that it's a returned item. That's often, they will then sell them as B stock, charge a restocking fee to the person that changed their mind about it, possibly because of the green colour. But I can't find anything majorly wrong with this. The headstock break angle is typical of PRS. I would say that's around 5 to 7 degrees, something like that. Not dissimilar. The volute style is very similar. Dot inlays are pretty nice and central, which is good, because that was one thing I found on the Harley Les Paul style guitar. I'm hoping these Roswell pickups are going to be as nice as the LAFs on the SC450, because they sounded really nice. And I have done the shielding demo, but obviously you're going to have to wait for that now, because the unboxing video certainly was a priority. That was what you all voted for seeing next. So I've unboxed as soon as I got this today, and I'll get the video up today or tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be watching this really soon. I hope you've enjoyed it, folks. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. As always, if you've enjoyed the video and you're not already subscribed, please click the subscribe button, and you'll be able to see all the videos as they come along if you click the bell icon as well to get notified. I will be doing a playthrough of this really soon. I'll also be doing a playthrough of the Harley Benton bass, the 550 bass that I bought, that I haven't done the playthrough yet. And we've still got the shielding demo on the SC450 to come. And that actually, spoiler alert, did miracles for the sound of that guitar. And so really looking forward to that. I'll do you some close-up pictures of this, and I'll be back really soon with the playthrough. In the meantime, folks, you take good care.
If you're going to play guitar, play it on the real guitar, not on the Chinese toothpick. How do you know the difference? Watch China Guitar Sceptic.